Cool. I'm Joey Cundiff.
I'm Mark Saxton.
This is Blue Collar Sports, and it has been some time.
It's been a couple of weeks. We haven't been in. Life gets in the way. Unfortunately, we don't get to be paid to do this yet. Both had work. But it is time to talk some shit.
And not only are we talking some shit and we coming back, but we're coming back with fire.
Oh my goodness, we have a great guest tonight. Once again, thank you, Danny Wirchansky, 25th round pick for the Brewers, and now, if I understand correctly, an affiliate for the Rangers. Correct?
So this is where my story is a little weird. I kind of got released from both teams due to my whole elbow situation. So now I'm actually an indie baller. So I'm playing for the New York Boulders.
There it is. I thought the Boulders were an affiliate. My apologies.
No, you're good. You're good.
So go ahead and just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so basically I'm Dan. I grew up in Stony Point, New York in the freezing cold. But basically just been playing baseball my whole life. And that's basically it. Nothing crazy with me, but yeah, just a big baseball player, I guess you could say.
There you go.
So where did the journey begin? Was it like T-ball and you just knew that you had a real passion, or was it high school when you started realizing that you could, really throw faster, throw harder, be more accurate? Like where did this journey begin?
I would say my way to professional baseball was definitely later than I expected, but just the love of the game was like T-ball. As soon as I picked up a bat, picked up a glove, I knew I loved the game of baseball. But the aspect of like pursuing professionally or even having the hopes of pursuing it was probably like my sophomore, junior year of college. So it was definitely later for like compared to like a lot of the guys who are out of high school and guys who are going to junior colleges and know they're going to be first rounders out of their 4 years and stuff like that. So my path to pro baseball is a little different than everyone.
So you're talking about like it started later, but did you always have like that chip to compete, like a chip on your shoulder, like a drive to compete? You just knew that if you stuck with it, that you could eventually get to where you could compete?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, that's one thing that always sticks with me even to now. Like just having the motivation with people doubting me and just having the drive to get on the big leagues and stuff like that is huge. So like that's the end goal. Everyone wants to be that kid playing in the big league. So that's definitely something I'm shooting for.
There you go. Well, I'm telling you what, I was looking at some of your numbers, and I believe in college you had a .071 ERA. I mean, come on, man. You know you're about it with those kind of numbers.
Yeah, that honestly was my best year of college. I mean, that year got cut short due to injury, but no, that was definitely my best season.
I'm pretty sure that's my batting average. Not too sure. He told me that. I was like, there's no way. That? For real?
So speaking of which, you just touched on it a little bit. Why don't you walk us through? Let's start with the beginning of the injury, all the way to the end. How it affected you, how it made you better, how it made you worse, your mindset, and all of it.
Okay, so I'll take it back to my junior year of college. So I started every game that I pitched. Opening day in New York, March 1st, was terrible. Obviously, we had snow on the ground. It's like 30 degrees. I pitched all 9 innings. Then every other start after that, I pitched 5 more starts, maybe 6 more starts. After that, I had maybe 8-9 innings was my lowest amount of innings pitched in a game. Every start I went 8 or 9. So I was kind of like just thrown to the wolves. So then my last outing, my junior year, I pitched like 140 something pitches in like 30-degree weather in like the beginning of April. So I went to go throw a midweek bullpen, and this is just getting prepped for playing Lemoyne College, who had the D2 Player of the Year, Josiah Gray, who's now a big leaguer for the Nationals. And JoJo's a good friend of mine. We keep in touch here and there. Both grew up around the same area. And obviously I knew the hype for the game was unreal. Like kids getting looked at by all 30 teams, cross-checkers are going to be there. So I'm like, all right, I'm getting some looks, but this is where it's going to be my shot. Like I'm throwing great this year. Like, here we go. Like, let's put my name out there. Throw my midweek pen, forearm didn't feel great. I was like, what the heck's going on? Like, what the fuck? And I go to the trainer's room and he's like doing tests on me and stuff like that. And there was just like nothing wrong. He did all the UCL strain tests and stuff like that. He's like, I don't see anything wrong there. So he's like, let's get an MRI. So I go to our school doctor, and basically he was just like, everything seems normal. Then we get the results back. I get told I have a full UCL tear.
Oh,
So I was just like, great, here we go. It's like on top of the world to rock bottom. I hit shit. So I went to Dr. Chris Ahmad, who's the Yankees doctor, and I showed him my MRI, and he goes, dude, I don't see a tear here. He goes, I don't see a UCL tear. He goes, I just think you have forearm inflammation. So he gave me some pills to take, and then a month later, I was able to throw again without any issues. So then my senior year, I had no issues, didn't miss a start or relief appearance, any bullpens. And then I got drafted by the Brewers that year, and I failed MRIs with them. They MRI'd the entire pitching staff who got drafted. And basically, I kept looking at the board like, all right, let's see what field I'm on, what practice field am I on. Haven't seen my name up there. So then I go in the office. The guy tells me that they didn't like my MRI, and they were shipping me home. So I sent that MRI over to Dr. Ahmad, and he didn't like, he liked it. He was like, dude, there's nothing wrong. He's like, I don't see a tear. Like, I don't see nothing. Like, I don't know why you got released. And I'm like, neither do I. I don't understand what the hell's going on. So then I start reaching out to other teams who had interest. And I'm just like, hey, I just want to let you know I got released due to this, this, and this. I have MRIs from my junior year and my the Brewers. And the Rangers reach out. They're like, hey, can you please send us that MRI? So we sent it over, and they were like, yeah, like everything checks out. Like, come on down. So I go back down to Arizona, their spring training site, and I'm thinking I'm getting ready to sign. Nope, another MRI. This is all within a month later. So I got drafted in June, got picked up at the end of July. And then a couple of days later, they tell me they don't like what they saw on the MRI. So I got canned again. So I got sent home. So I sent both MRIs to Dr. Ahmad. I sent them to Dr. James Andrews too, who like does all of Major League Baseball. So I sent both discs, and they were both listening like, there's no tear. Dr. Andrews like, I wouldn't give you Tommy John surgery. Like, I wouldn't do it. And Ahmad's like, listen, if you want to go through with it and get it done, like, we could do it. I'll do it for you. So I said, fuck it. Let's just go under the knife and get it done. So
Right.
I got Tommy John surgery for no UCL tear.
Damn, that seems fucking rough, man. So amongst all that, I mean, I can't imagine the mental and emotional roller coaster ride. First of all, you know, you're feeling on top of the world. You just got drafted, and then you know you can't even hit the field. During all that, what was the motivation that kept you going? Like, what was like, you know what, man, fuck it, it is what it is. I'm running. Let's get it.
So I had two main things. So I went back. A lot of my buddies from college were a year younger than me. Like, my best friends to this day were juniors when I was a senior. So I went to go visit them again. And one of my good friends on the lacrosse team, women's lax team, kept like telling me, like, I told her, I was like, I'm ready to just hang it up. Like, I'm not doing this. This was even before I got the surgery. And she was like, I had 3 foot surgeries. I haven't played 1 minute of college lacrosse. She's like, I'm still going after it. She goes, you got drafted. Like, go chase your dream. Like, go back to it. Like, why are you going to give up when you were already there? Just a simple fix. Like, there's nothing wrong with you. Just go get it. So that kind of hit me like pretty deep there. And then my boss, Eric, who's actually the manager for Team Israel in the Olympics this year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I went in for a job interview with him because I was like, fuck it, I'm going to quit baseball. I'm going to hang it up, and I'm just going to teach it now. I said, screw it. So I go in, he was telling me.
Technical
difficulty.
difficulty.
Exactly
That
right.
happens.
Well, I'm sure he'll jump right back on.
Yeah, so you know, that kind of seems like that's a little against like the player health and safety a little bit, you know?
Right.
I was thinking about that. I wonder what the PA would think if they heard this story.
Mm.
Like, teams are. Oh, there we go.
There it is.
I don't know.
Good.
I don't know what just happened, but
Yeah.
yeah, so I went to go in for a job interview, and I told him like the whole thing. Like, he was like, so like, where are you from, this and that. So I told him everything, and then he was like, listen, like, I'm not giving you a job unless you get Tommy John surgery. So I'm like, all right, like, that's kind of weird. So I go home to my dad, and he goes, so how'd it go? And I was just like, I got told to get Tommy John or I'm not having a job. So I'm sitting there and I was thinking about it and I was just like, fuck it. Like I made it this far already and didn't even get the chance to play. Like didn't get to touch the field. He's like, oh, so I was just like, all right, fuck it. Let's get the surgery. Let's work our way back and have one more shot at it.
Yeah, Mark and I were talking a little bit about Tommy John, how far it's come where, it used to be like, okay, you have Tommy John, now you're kind of like, we hope you come back type thing. But now you actually have a chance to rehab right, get your body right, and
still be the same guy. Yeah.
You see people coming back a year, 2 years later now, so
and sometimes even better.
It's not the greatest surgery to have by any means, but it's not a career killer. And that's really cool.
Yep.
It's really cool to start seeing now. You were talking about the draft process a little bit, so I want to kind of back it up because that's always one of the most interesting things to me to hear from athletes that do get drafted, no matter where it is. We talked to Drew Pearson, who didn't get drafted, So what was it like, here waiting? You hear the speculation like, oh, we're talking. You're getting emails saying, hey, late round draft. We're thinking about you here, here, here. Did you get those emails? Was it a surprise? Were you expecting to get drafted, or how did this go?
So how it was my junior year, I was getting a lot of attention. I played in the New England Summer League my sophomore summer going into junior year, and I do very well as an all-star there. I had a 0 ERA through half the summer.
Ooh.
And then I started getting interest during my junior year. So then when I got hurt, like I lost all interest. Like I had a pre-draft invite with the Reds that got taken away due to my injury, stuff like that. So then my senior year, I started getting even more interest. I went to a couple workouts. I went to a workout with the Angels and the Phillies and stuff like that. So I thought those were the two teams I was looking at. Like I was looking through the draft board the whole time. Every time they came up, I would see if my name's getting called. But yeah, I didn't have an agent at the time. So I was just kind of like free balling and trying to just see like, all right, like who's going to take me? Is anyone going to call me? I'm like, my phone. I had a couple of my buddies come up draft day. I knew I wasn't going to go the first 2 days, like those elite.
Right.
I knew small D2 guy, didn't have overpowering stuff. I'm going to be a day 3 guy, which again, isn't the end of the world. You see guys like Mike Piazza, who were whatever late round draft picks they were. Tyler Madzik's a free agent sign who's in the show. So it doesn't matter where, but so I'm just sitting there and I'm just like, God, like, what the hell's going on? Why haven't I been called? So I'm just sitting there like freaking out about it. And I have like 2 of my buddies over already, and one of them's on his way from Long Island. And I'm sitting by my phone, just like holding my phone, like waiting for my phone to vibrate. And it's my buddy calling me, I'm thinking it's a scout calling. And he goes, hey, I just want to let you know I'm almost at your house. I said, dude, not the time. I hung up. So I'm just sitting there. I'm waiting. My dad's at work. All my family's at work. So I'm just sitting there. I'm like, all right, like, can something just happen? So I didn't get a call. My summer ball group chat started blowing up. Everyone's like, yo, Dan, congrats, dude. That's fucking awesome. Like this and that. I'm like, what are you guys talking about? They're like, dude, you're not watching the draft. You just got picked. And all you see on this TV screen was them saying Milwaukee Brewers select Dan Wirchansky and stuff like that. So I kind of like was like a cool like way of like finding out how I got picked. But that happened. And then the scout who drafted me called me and was like, hey man, like excited to have you on board, this and that. So it was definitely like a really good day for me, obviously, but it's one of those experiences I'll never forget about.
Oh yeah, I bet not. That's amazing.
Yeah. We've heard a similar story about that where a friend calls from a different area code and they think, it's like, oh shit, here it goes, So, my advice to younger athletes out there is block everybody's number.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. You don't want to see none of that.
Yep. We kind of touched on it a little bit too, just about, the whole bounce back, especially after as many hoops as you had to jump through already. Other than the challenges that you've had to face already with not being able to play with the team that, either drafted or signed you, what's some of the challenges? I mean, playing at, high level ball, man, like what's probably something that sticks out the most to you?
I mean, I thought it was recovering from Tommy John was the hardest, but to be honest, it's the first season back, especially it being my first professional season. It was a huge difference. Like college, I was able to throw anything, like not down the middle, but like I don't have to nibble as much. Like as soon as you see some of these guys, like I faced former big leaguers, I faced some guys who were AAA, AA experienced guys. So it's like you got to be pretty much perfect with everything. So in the beginning of the year, I was trying to like be too perfect, where I'm like cutting the corners a little bit too much, where I'm missing for balls, or I'm putting it right down the middle where they're just tattooing the shit out of it.
Right.
Because I faced guys like Willie Garcia, who was a big leaguer with the White Sox. Giffen Gope was another one. He was the first, I think, like African like player in the big leagues. Dennis Phipps, a little older of a guy, but guy who had a great approach and swing it. So it's guys like that who like you could make a pitch down, like a change up in the dirt, they're not swinging at it. Right. So it's like making those adjustments on the fly, especially your first year, is something like it takes a while. So that was something I had to like really fix like right away.
Just trying to get those batters to bang at it at least, right?
Yeah. Yeah. The amount of times I'd shake my head with that, man, I would throw a curveball in the dirt and I'm just like, damn, you didn't swing.
You know, I was looking at it, I believe it was 108 innings and 106 strikeouts. I mean, you're a strikeout pitcher. That's amazing. Obviously, that's going to call for a lot of contact, but you know, those kind of numbers, you especially your first season back. I mean, shit, that's something you can hang your hat on. That's something to be proud of.
No, yeah, 100%. Like obviously, like I'm my own worst like critic, so obviously, like things could be better. Yeah, obviously, like, but I'm gonna take the highs with the lows. It's my first season in pro ball. It's my first season back from surgery, so it's definitely a plus. So now we just bounce off that.
That's awesome. Just a quick side question. With everything going on with the MLB and the lockout, how does that affect indie ball? Does that affect you much?
So I've heard several things. I've heard the lockout helps guys get signed. I've been seeing people get signed. Like my one buddy literally just got picked up by the Marlins maybe 3 days ago.
Oh, wow.
But everything depends on like cap size too. So like a lot of minor league team like organizations have cap size already. Like they already have all their minor leaguers set, or whoever. They already have their major league roster set, whatever it is. So guys in indie ball do have their shot. Like Tri-City last year during the season had like 15 dudes get picked up.
Wow.
Yeah. So just like within like 4 to 5 months, they had 15 dudes get like picked up by affiliate teams. So it's indie ball is definitely a lot different. I was definitely against it at first when I was like, damn, I gotta go play fucking indie ball, dude. Like this is gonna suck. Like there's no way I'm getting picked up. Like no one wants to be there. But then if you see like the guys who are there, like one of my good buddies who I played travel ball with, he got drafted out of high school by the Giants and he was in that league. So it was like, all right, like if he's doing it, like I shouldn't be complaining. Like let's just start here and like work my way. So indie ball was definitely like not as I thought it was going to be. It was definitely a lot better. So
that's awesome. That's amazing. That was going to be my next question, actually.
Yeah. So, you know, while you're playing ball and you're back your first year, and obviously, you know, you're coming off the surgery. I don't know if you're where you want to be yet, if it's going to take another season to where you're exactly comfortable back to where, because you hear that a lot after major surgeries is you're comfortable, but you're not as comfortable as you were.
Yeah.
So with that, this season, who's got your number? You could be honest, or you can lie a little bit.
Yeah, you can tell us to fuck off.
I gotta think about this one. I gotta think about this one. There was one game I remember, Jackie Baez. I didn't even recognize him until like after the game. We all went to go get food, like after and everything. He was in my draft class with the Brewers. I didn't even know at all. So he got released too, and he played for Sussex County. His first at bat drops a push bunt between me and the second baseman, legs it out. I'm like, oh, here we go. Next at bat, double. I'm like, fucking shit, this guy. Another one down the line for a double. I'm like, this guy's 3 for 3 against me with 2 doubles and a bunt for a hit. I'm like, you got to be fucking kidding me. Like, couldn't get the guy out. And then I would say another one, if I had to actually think, it would probably be like Willie Garcia. That guy squared up everything I threw. And he like laid off every single pitch. I would just nibble. I'd be like, here's 4 changes in the dirt. Take your base. Like I'm out.
Yeah. Sometimes you just gotta let them get.
Yep. So now on the good side, who do you got? Somebody where, and you can say everybody else that comes up to the plate.
I'm not gonna say a select guy because I don't like throwing people under the bus, but I'll definitely say when I pitched against Quebec this year, I definitely had a good starts against them.
Nice.
Yeah.
There you go.
I mean, we've seen your strikeout count. We know there's a few repeats. In the
Yeah. There's a few people wearing the collar, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Hey, so as like I said, as up and down as this whole thing has been, and it's certainly not over. It certainly sounds like it's beginning. What's been your favorite part this far?
My favorite part, honestly, just being around the guys who I met during pro ball so far, just like the friendships, the advice I get, like just being like so close. Like I didn't expect it to be like that because even the little bit of time I was in affiliate ball, just in spring training site and around guys like that, like it's a competition. I don't care how friendly you are. If we're in the same team and same organization, you want to do better than him. You want to do better than me. Like you want to get from high A to double A. You don't want to see that guy next to you doing it. So it's more of a competition. Whereas in indie ball, it's like everyone's there for each other. Like we had 2 guys get picked up. We went absolutely ballistic in the locker room when they got signed.
Nice.
Like we were all there for each other. Everyone else, like in affiliate ball, I feel like it's just like, all right, fuck you, dude. Like you're not getting picked up before me. You're not moving up. Like fuck you. Like
Right.
everyone's goal is to make it to the big league. So
Right.
if it's a person next to me who's a left-handed pitcher makes it before I do, I'm gonna be like, shit. Like what the fuck? Like.
Right. That being said, you kind of touched on it with the 15 guys going apeshit in the locker room. One, that's amazing. That guys can come together and have that kind of support. But ultimately, you got do you have any like favorite memories, like in the dugout or maybe in the locker room or anything out that stands out?
Oh man, I mean, just on-field stuff in general. My teammate was Robbie Rowe this year. I don't know if you know Robbie Rowe.
Doesn't sound familiar.
Robbie Rowland. He does like all this like Instagram like content and all this stuff. Guy walks down barefoot every day. He's a big earthing guy.
Okay.
But he comes down with like his GoPro, his tripods, and all this other stuff onto the field every day, filming stuff. He'll do like in-season vlogs. He'll do videos for guys. He'll do like everything. So like that's one thing I do miss, and I can't wait to get back for. But that's something I definitely like really enjoy, just because like you could have that like seriousness while doing shit, but like you could also fuck around. So it's like you have your happy medium.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So one more thing I saw on your Instagram was Elevate. Looks like you're partnered with them or teaming up with them. So why don't you go ahead and tell us about that?
Okay, yeah. So this is new to me, but my buddy Nico runs that whole thing, and basically it's just to like build content. So like how I was explaining about Robbie Rowe, like he's big with the content. So like I'm not one to like basically blast stuff like that out there. Like I'm not one to show my face, or I didn't even have TikTok until Robbie Rowe put me in one of his TikToks and he's like, dude, it's blowing up. You should like download the app. But my buddy Nico was like, dude, like you should start like doing this, like build your profile, this and that. Like you're a pro, like people would like to see that stuff. So like, he's like, dude, just make a video, like pitch grip, show the pitch grip, like what it does and like a result. So I just said, all right, fuck it, whatever. So I took a video of like how I hold my curveball, whatever, and showed like an in-game result, and it blew up to like 130K views or whatever.
I want to say I was one of those.
Yeah,
I was like, oh shit, this is really cool. And I was like scrolling through, I was like, oh, this is really informative.
Yeah, so like stuff like that they have us do. And then he's also reaching out to like brands and stuff like that. So he's like, dude, is there like a brand you want? He made me a logo and stuff. So like I'm gonna try to get like my logo made onto like some apparel, like hats, shirts, hoodies, and stuff like that, and just go from there, basically.
There you go. That's kind of what we're doing.
Yeah.
It's kind of what we're doing. We're trying to get our brand out there.
Yeah, when you take those, you let us know.
Yeah, we'll get some for
You
sure.
have the
Definitely.
We're on the phone all the time.
That's
like,
it.
If we don't answer you within 10 minutes, then that's our fault.
Right. That's amazing. So that being said, when do you get to get back to the field? When does everything start for you?
So indie ball's later than affiliate. So affiliate, like I was down at a place today. Basically a lot of guys are leaving like now or beginning of March, and then indie ball starts spring training in May. So May, like the first week of May.
Right.
So and indie ball spring training is a week. It's literally just 7 days.
That's it. Wow.
Yeah. So literally all we did last spring training was throw live at bats. We did a scrimmage basically the whole time.
All right, man. That kind of seems cool. Like nice and chill, nice and relaxed. Get back in it.
Yeah, it's cool, but it's definitely a lot of throwing because pitchers were doing a lot. So guys who were listed as starters were going like 3 innings each time, and then with like a 2 days rest and back out for 3 days, 3 innings, and back on a 2 day. And then the relievers were like pitch 1 inning, have one off day, pitch 1 inning, have an off day. So it was kind of like taxing that week.
Oh wow.
So like I threw like 3 innings each time, and then the last day of spring training I threw 4. And I'm like, fuck, I do 4. Like, am I getting released? I've had the feeling before. I've gotten released twice. So I'm like, fuck. So I do 4 innings. I do pretty well. And it was the day of cuts. And my manager called me in. He's like, dude, like, come in my office. And I'm sitting there. I'm like, oh my God.
It's feeling.
It's terrible. So my manager and my assistant coach were sitting there in the room. The door shuts, room's quiet. No one's speaking. And I'm just sitting there. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. I'm getting released right now. And our assistant coach is like, dude, can you just fucking tell the kid? And my manager starts laughing. He goes, I just want to let you know you're starting opening night. And I had a huge sigh of relief, but opening night was 2 days rest again. So I was just throwing straight up 2 days rest, 2 days rest, 2 days rest. I'm like, holy shit, I do more than I did before. Like, I got to be ready in 2 days. So I had to fucking like rehab my arm, like take care of it. And this is just coming off TJ's, my first season off Tommy John. So I'm just like, fuck, like to be exact, 750 days from my last like pitch, like in game. So I was like, shit.
Wow.
So what are you hitting on the gun consistently now? Like, well, okay, we'll do it before and after.
Okay, so before, when I got drafted before the surgery, I was like 88 to like 90, touching 91, and like now I'm like 89 to 93, touching 4.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
So,
Yeah,
okay, so
It's pretty fucking quick.
yeah. Another thing I've heard, and you can, say your side of this, but I've always heard like after athletes have a real serious surgery, they come back and they come back a little different, but then their form is way better because it's more focused on. It's not like, okay, you grew up throwing a certain way because your hand couldn't grip the ball or whatever. So seeing that now, like your form is just naturally better.
Yeah, so I would say it's a lot with that. I worked on like when I first got back into throwing, the first day I got cleared, it was like trying to like figure everything out again. I'm like, all right, what am I doing wrong? Instead of worrying about just throw the fucking ball, like you gotta make sure your arm feels all right. But like once your arm starts feeling better, you're like, all right, like I gotta figure out how to throw with like my body instead of throwing just arm. Right. So I had to figure that out. And then just honestly, like Tommy John's mostly PT. If you don't do your PT properly, like you're not coming back okay. Like I have a buddy who had Tommy John and he can't strain his arm. Like his arm's completely bent.
Shit.
Like he rushed it. He threw 2 months out of surgery instead of waiting the 4.5 months. So it's like, you got to follow. I followed everything to a T. My throwing program, go in a journal. I would write down like, all right, 25 throws at this distance, 25 throws at this distance, whatever my doctor gave me. And then I would write on a scale of 1 to 10 how I felt, and if I did feel anything, what it was, just so I could look back and be like, all right, it's only this, it's only that. Like, oh, I felt good this day, I felt like shit this day, and it's just like staying on track and being consistent is the big thing.
You gotta sounds like literally relearn how to throw the ball.
Yeah, it was tough, but especially like when the intensity goes up, because your mechanics go right out the window if you haven't been practicing them. And I couldn't walk for 2 weeks since I got the ligament taken out my leg, so definitely couldn't do any pitching mechanics.
Yeah, man. Well, so you're saying the season, and I believe you said the season starts in May, correct? April, May. So what's what do we say we get an update from you in the middle of the season, see how you're doing, see how everything's going?
100%.
That's awesome. Looking forward to it, man. Nice. Like we said, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And hey, good luck. Like I said, it sounds like the journey's just beginning for you, really.
Yes, sir.
All right. Hey, well, you got 2 new fans here in Arizona.
That's right.
I appreciate it. What part of Arizona by any chance?
We're up northeast Arizona. We're 90 miles east of Flagstaff, a little town called Holbrook, Arizona.
Okay, because I was in Arizona 2 to 3 weeks ago. I was in Surprise.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was out there
a couple hours
for a couple days.
You ever play games out here in Arizona?
So I I never played games out there, but when I was obviously out there with the Brewers and the Rangers, I was out there. And then I was recently at a workout with the Royals, so I was out there at their spring training site.
Nice. Been out there. I watched my Padres get pounded by Salvi and company a couple of years back. My little boy, his favorite player when he was when he was just a kid, like little kid, was Salvador Perez. And that day he hit a home run.
Okay.
I don't think it landed yet, but so, and now his favorite player is Manny Machado. So
Gotcha.
We got him at least we got him on the right side of the tracks for me.
Well, if you're looking at Padre, look at my buddy Levi Thomas, a pitcher in their organization.
Oh, definitely will. Hey,
And I don't know if you know their pen guys, but one of my teammates is Ben Strom. His brother Matt's a bullpen guy for Padres.
oh, I didn't know that. I'll tell you right now,
Yeah.
I'm from San Diego County. I'm from Escondido, California. So I'm a big, huge Padres fan.
Yeah, definitely take a look. Matt Strom was one of their guys. So
Matt Strom?
yep.
Oh, I thought you said strong, like strong. No,
Yeah.
Matt Strom, I definitely know
Strom.
who Strom is.
Strom.
Yeah, no, I definitely know who Strom is. A big fan. When he first came onto the scene, I actually it's crazy because me and my dad every year we buy the ticket and we always watch the first 10, 15 games like solid. And when he first came onto the scene, I was an instant fan because honestly, the biggest thing and the biggest problem with my Padres is pitching, man. Give us some help.
Yeah.
Give us some help.
Yeah. We've been preaching that for a little bit now.
Awesome. Once again, man, hey, we're gonna look into everybody that you told us to. Absolutely, like I said, already a fan anyway.
Yeah,
So
Yeah, let us know how the season goes and
yeah, well,
Awesome. I appreciate it.
yeah, absolutely. And feel free to reach out because I know we definitely will. Like I said, after a few games of the season, and let's touch base.
Definitely will.
Awesome. Hey, once again, thank you, Danny.
Yeah,
You have a
thanks
good
for
night,
talking
man.
some
Hey,
shit.
thanks for talking some shit with us.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
All right, man. Have a good night.
Thank you.
You too.